What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be reviewing some tires. So today we're going to be reviewing my Federal RSRRs. I have these in a 225, 255 setup on my 2001 Honda S2000. You guys might have seen that review before. If you haven't, please check out that related video on the review of this car and how these tires work as a complete package for this setup. But anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the video and I'll go over some key details on how these tires have performed for me over the past year. And this includes in various weather and road conditions, as well as competition and daily driving use. So this is what the Federal RSRR's tread pattern looks like. You probably see it in the pictures when you're shopping for them. It is like this weird flame pattern, and like I said before, it's questionable at best. So some things about the tread also is you'll notice that unlike some of the more competitive 200 tread wear tires, it doesn't have a center band. So what I mean by center band, I actually brought over a 15-inch wheel here, or tire. This is a Dunlop Dureza Z2 Star Spec, and you can see it has this center band pattern here on the treadwear. This is also unlike the RE71 and I think like 8008Rs and stuff like that. So what the center band generally does is gives you really responsive handling and just crispy turning. So the Federal RSRR doesn't have that, and that's one of the downsides of these tires, which we'll talk about in a bit. And again, this is a Z2 Star Spec. So that's what we'll have to say about the tread pattern. I almost forgot one of the biggest things about this tread pattern, and maybe one of the worst parts of this tire, is this tread pattern is extremely loud. So if that bothers you, this is not the best tire for you. All right, let's jump into the thing all you guys care about, and that's performance. How we're going to talk about this is I'll talk about dry weather performance at Autocross, extended use in track and street, and then I'll talk about wet performance. At Autocross, if you don't have 200 treadwear tires, you're probably not going to be competitive at all. And you'll probably have a really hard time to get a good place at Autocross if you don't have 200 treadwear tires. Considering these are $400 and really cheap, these are at least good enough to get you in a competitive place at Autocross and gives you a chance to not be close to last. At Autocross, the best tires are usually the tires that get up to optimal temperature in that short window of time that's about a minute. So RE71s usually get up to temperature really fast and they're just really grippy. These tires, they're pretty swirly and they don't get up to temperature that quick. So your fastest time will probably be some of the later runs in the day. That's the biggest downside, is these do take some time to warm up compared to the other tires I've tried. As far as the driving feel or handling and the transition from grip to no grip, I think these tires communicate really well with the driver, and they're pretty comparable to other tires. They don't make a lot of noise, so you rely on the car's yaw feeling and how the tires communicate through the car to the steering wheel. If it starts oversteering, it's easy to feel with the car and the tires, and you know when to countersteer and stuff like that. So these tires communicate well in the dry. Like I said before, because these tires don't have that center band, the responsiveness isn't as great as RE71Rs. At track days, these tires do fine. My track days, again, are not competitive, so I think these are actually perfect for lapping days because they're really cheap, and this is what they look like after 10,000 miles. So you can get a lot of lapping days in, and you'll at least be able to pull some nice G-forces and have fun and stuff like that at the track. Next, I'll talk about backroad driving. So the back roads I go on, they're probably like autocross type corners and just back-to-back gas brake, corner. There's very little straightaways. From my experience, these tires, when they're cold, they're of course a little bit slippery, and then they get up to temperature maybe like a minute in to going back to back, like get up to that optimal grip temperature. But when you hit around the 3-minute mark of back-to-back cornering with this, these tires tend to really overheat, and from my experience, it's pretty bad. They start to get mushy and they start squealing a lot, and then you have way less grip, and the grip level just drops as these tires overheat. So you have to be careful if you're going in a lot of corners for an extended amount of time. Compared to other tires I've used in the same setting, I've never had a problem with like overheating RE71Rs, and those tires are known to get overheated, and so these are worse in that sense, at least from my experience. Next, we'll talk about rain driving. So in the area I live in, it rains all the time, and I left these on the car pretty much all year. I haven't had a problem with hydroplaning or anything like that, and these tires have treated me fine. I think they still grip better than all seasons in the rain, only due to the tire compound, but it depends on the temperature too. These tires haven't given me any issue, and like this funky flame pattern hasn't given me any hydroplaning issues like on the freeway. And of course, I'm not like pushing it on the freeway and like on ramps and stuff, so I haven't had an issue with these tires. As far as competition use though, like at autocross in the rain, I wouldn't recommend these. The transition from grip to no grip is like an on-off switch. It's not gradual like it is in the dry. And it's kind of hard to negotiate like a corner when the grip keeps changing. Like you get grip, no grip, like an on-off switch in the rain. As far as competition use, from my experience. So I wouldn't recommend these in the rain for competition. Alright guys, so that wraps up my review of the Federal RSRR. We talked about the tread pattern and stuff like that, and then we talked about dry performance in different contexts, and then we talked about wet performance in different contexts. So overall, in summary, I would say these tires are a good deal for $400. It's a good tire to buy if you want to get your feet wet in competition, or you want to have a tire that's competitive and significantly grippier than an all-season tire. So I would recommend these tires if you are on a tight budget, and they're great tires for the price, but you probably won't, well, you'll have a hard time to be like the fastest of the day. But as far as being generally competitive and getting you to a level where you can actually compete with people and you're on a budget, I would say these are actually a good buy. So that's my summary of the RSRR and my experience of owning them for a year. So hopefully that information was useful and it helps you guys make an informed decision on if you want to choose these tires.